to a place where you belong. Give you strength to carry on. Open your heart, set your mind at ease. Live your life and you'll be free. We're gonna rise, rise, rise. Keep on rising, rise, rise, rise. Keep on rising,
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody listening on the later podcast. Good evening and welcome to the Newcastle United versus Borussia Dortmund match preview. The Champions League is back at St James's Park tomorrow night, and boy, are we ready for it. And very much looking forward to hopefully another 3 points and extend our lead at the top of the group of death. Anyway, good evening to my illustrious co-hosts, Mr. Alex and Mr. Billy Bob. And good evening to everybody. Do please hit the thumbs up if you are liking the show. And of course, if you're new to the channel, please do hit the subscribe button, free to do so. And also that notification bell, which will let you know when we go live or we upload any videos. Now, we will touch on Eddie Howe's press conference first of all tonight, guys, because I think it's quite important what Eddie had to say about everything. If I'm openly honest, I forgot to do a video on it because normally I do cover the press conference, but I had a busy day today, so I never got a real opportunity. But also, guys, if you want to donate to the channel and help us out, you can do by hitting the $ at the bottom of the live comments. And, of course, that will get your comment read straight out. And you can become a member if you hit that join button just underneath the three of us, which will put you in for members' prizes, etc. Call Me Swift, who's been a member for 2 months, says, I read everyone. I'm buzzing for tomorrow, like 3-1. How are the lads? Indeed, I think everybody is buzzing. And Toon Dave is celebrating 21 months of membership. Thank you very much, Toon Dave, for your continued support. Now, first of all, Eddie Howe, obviously the first thing he said was Sandro Tonali is fit and fine, which I found interesting. Joe Willock is getting closer with every day that passes, and Sven Botman is still out. Apart from that, we're pretty similar to Saturday. Now, Billy, obviously, we did a video on the press conference last week, and we were very, very surprised how he just sort of skipped over the Sven Botman issue and didn't really touch on his injury. Just said he'd had a good 2 weeks, but he's still missing for tomorrow. Yeah,
it's one of those injuries that we kind of underestimated at the beginning again, and it seems to be weeks now since he's kind of played, isn't it?
Yep.
It tends to be if we say no specific time, but a short period of time, then they expect longer, because that's how it always seems to be. He's luckily for us, he's not being missed at the moment because Jamal Lascelles has stepped up to the plate. However, if he's playing, I think our defence is much, much stronger. Yeah. I'd like to see him in the side as soon as possible, because as soon as he's fit, I think he comes straight back in, irrespective of how well the skipper's been playing. Yeah, it's very odd how we kind of deal with these injury timing things. We're never wise about it, are we? We're always in the dark.
Well, initially it was 2 weeks, wasn't it? That's what they said for Botman, and it's been a lot longer, Alex. So, obviously, that means Jamal Lascelles will start again tomorrow night. I really don't have a problem with Lascelles starting at the moment, Alex.
No, I'm not too bothered about that, especially with the personnel of Dortmund. With Füllkrug likely to lead the line, a little bit more of a cumbersome centre forward, traditional. Good in the air, strong. Marco Reus is 34, not as pacey as he once was. I'm not too bothered. I don't want to jinx it, obviously, but we normally favoured Lascelles in these kinds of matchups. He was fine against Palace in two big guys up top in Mateta and Edouard. It should be okay on paper. Whether it is, we'll see. But yeah, fingers crossed.
Morgan says, ain't it mad how it's been dubbed an upset if Dortmund win? Who'd have thought? How times have changed indeed. Now, I know he said there about Toon Army being fit and fine. The ban may come tomorrow. It is expected to be within 24 hours. There has been videos put out today about Toon Army getting a 12-month ban, etc. There's nothing come out saying that Toon Army has had a ban, so we await for official confirmation of what he is going to be banned for. But I did notice today, I watched Mark Goldbridge's video on his other channel called That's Football, and you know what? As much as I disagree with him on a lot of things, I thought he spoke a lot of sense, Billy. Obviously, you've nodded your head. You must have seen it.
I did see it, yeah.
I thought he spoke a lot of sense about it. And, I was nodding my head throughout saying, yeah, that's a very good point.
I haven't seen this. Could you sum it up?
Well, what he said was, Alex, was similar to what a lot of professionals have said, along with Paul Merson, just like, instead of banning these players, and he admitted to being wrong about saying Tony should be banned for a long length of time, because if they do have these addictions, and we've spoke about it on here, it gives them more time on their own to, when they're supposed to be fighting this addiction, they're going to be handed more time to do nothing but be tempted into it. And he made a good point saying, look, these guys are on an awful lot of money, so why not maybe put a ban in there for 1 or 2 months to give them time to, go into rehab, get themselves sorted, but hammer them with a big fine, a monetary fine, rather than, banning them for a long length of time. And you know what? The more I think about it, the more I actually agree with it, because I think that's a sensible thing to do. It hits them in the pocket, but it also only keeps them out of football for the time it takes for them to get into rehab and maybe sort themselves out. And instead of taking a year away from a really young, good footballer. And the same with Tony. He's lost 7 months of his career. So I kind of agreed with Goldbridge on it.
Yeah, well, if it echoed Merson's comments, I agreed with those at the time as well. I thought that was the most sense I've ever heard him speak. It needs a complete overhaul from top to bottom about how people are supported and how punishments are dished out, because it's not. I think it encourages relapses and worsens conditions. It isolates people, it isolates young guys, and it's not right. And
Billy, what did you make of it?
Well, it kind of highlighted the fact that the most kind of the people that are getting affected most by it are the clubs that had nothing to do with it. Someone that bought him in between when it all happened. So
yeah, he did mention that as well.
There's got to be a punishment where the people that have bought him don't get affected by it. Surely, I mean, we're the innocent party in all of this, and we're getting affected the most. So. Yeah, I'd agree with a big fine, and he kind of said, "Fine £1 million paid over a career. Why not?"
Well, but I've just seen a comment pop up saying, "Why not fine them and take that money to the gambling addiction charities that need this money?" It wouldn't be a bad thing for me. So listening to other opinions on this has completely sort of changed my direction on it. Yes, he's been very silly. He knows that. Nobody will know that more than Sandro Tonali, but the punishment should maybe be a monetary hit and a couple of months ban to get themselves sorted, get them into rehab. So it was a very, very good video. If you haven't seen it, normally I don't promote Mark Goldbridge, but he was on That's Football, his other channel today, and he spoke a lot of sense. He was complimentary about Newcastle. But he seems to be, when he's away from the Man United stuff, he talks more sense when he's not talking about Manchester United. So, I really enjoyed that video, and he spoke a lot of sense. We've got a new member, Eric Andre Rodsud. Thank you very much, Eric, and welcome to Members Club. Thank you so much for being a member and helping the channel out. That's very kind of you, and welcome to the family. Luke says, will Aquino's return perhaps just around the corner? I can't wait to see what he's capable of with Gordon in particular once he's fully match fit. I mean, it'd be brilliant. I mean, combining with Anthony Gordon, I think, is something that everybody's looking to. But he doesn't walk straight into the team. That's the thing. That's a difficult thing for Willock. He's got a fight on his hands, Alex, to get in the team.
No, I don't agree with that. I think he'll get minutes, just not. He won't walk into a Premier League 11.
Straight into the Premier League team. That's what I mean.
No, he'll get minutes, but yeah, I agree with Luke there. I think definitely what the potential of him linking up with Gordon and Isak in sort of counter-attacking runs or runs into space together. We saw some of the work that Willock did linking up. I think it will be similar. Obviously, we saw sort of Willock when Willock, Maxi, and Isak were together on that left side last year. There were some really nice dribbles and passing sequences, and it looked really, really interesting. Obviously, Gordon's different to Maxi, but a lot faster. I mean, not many players are faster than Gordon. So that looks like a really promising sort of left side that could start to develop. You would imagine Willock will play left-sided 8 or somewhere in that sort of position. Again, it depends on Joe Linton. It depends on rotation. It depends if we find a new area for him to play in. Because I don't see, Willock and Joe Linton are both right-footed players. There's no reason why we can't start to incorporate them in other areas of the pitch potentially. Mm-hmm. It's a good problem to have. The link-up play is going to be outrageous.
Dare I say it, the old cliche, it'll be like a new signing.
Well, I think you'll probably see him against Man United next week. I think he'll definitely make the bench for that. He needs minutes in his legs first.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We have another member popped up, David Noble. Thank you for taking a membership out, matey, and welcome to the Toon Review family. And again, thank you very much for your support. That is very kind of you. Toon Dave says a monetary ban to be given to a gambling addiction charity would make more sense than a ban and isolation. Iropa says isolation makes things worse. So there's a lot of question marks over it, really. I think, which is fair enough. And also the ban on training with your teammates and being around that club atmosphere. So, yeah. Tristan says, Paul, there is no rehab for gambling. I'm sorry, you can seek help with counselling, but rehab is for drugs and alcohol. You know what I mean. And I know there's no sort of rehab center that you go to, but it's still rehabilitation from a gambling addiction. That's what I'm talking about. Anyway, further on to Eddie's comments. He spoke about Dortmund as well. He says, it's another real top test. The group was always going to be that way, and it's great to be involved in. We knew this would be a tough examination for us. This is a key period in it now. We've made a good start, but we can't get ahead of ourselves. This is a pivotal game in the group. Just before I get your comments on that, Billy, we've had another new member, Connor Close. Connor, welcome to Members Club. Thank you very much for signing up, and welcome to the family, mate. And thank you for your continued support of the channel. Really, really do appreciate that. Billy, what do you make of that? A pivotal game in the group.
100%. It's the one before the halfway point, isn't it? And if we can go into that halfway point on 7 points with a potentially harder second half of the campaign to go, 2 away, 1 at home, it's going to go a long way towards us qualifying for the next round. The knockout rounds, if I'm honest.
And of course, this is where it's a sort of home and home, isn't it? So you're playing Dortmund, and then you're playing Dortmund again. It just sort of repeats itself. So indeed, Connor, thank you very much for your 199 super sticker. Really appreciate that, matey. Thank you, Alex. He knows it's a key period and a massive game. Without getting ahead of ourselves, hypothetically, 3 points would be absolutely incredible. It'll put us on 7 points at the halfway stage of the Champions League. And I don't think any of us really thought we'd be on that, to be honest.
No, I mean, look, my minimum expectation was try and fight for third, because then at least you can drop into the Europa League and you still have more games and more fixtures, more minutes for more players, bigger squad. Yeah. That's ideal. And then even better than that is you can finish second or first and get out of the group, and then continue whether you can. Obviously it then becomes a knockout tournament and you might only get the one set of fixtures against the one team, but yeah, it's integral, it's important. I think the goal is just not finish fourth in the group. I mean, I think there'll be harder games. PSG won't be a pushover in the second fixture, that's for sure. Dortmund will also not be what PSG was. Me and Billy spoke about this last night, that German teams are typically a bit more resilient. They're not going to be as naive as PSG. This will be a harder game anyway. Considerably more experienced players, in my opinion, in terms of mental attributes as well, with your sort of Hummels and your Marco Reus. You've got players in there who have lifted the World Cup. I'm aware that France lifted the World Cup recently as well. However, I feel like Dortmund have a harder time. There are much tougher teams in their league, with Leipzig being very proficient, and obviously Bayern. They're always. it's just different. It's a different kettle of fish. It's a different mentality. So to beat Dortmund would be integral. Put us on 7 points, as you said. It's not necessary that we beat them. We can still get out of the group without winning this fixture. But I feel like we've got to try and use the home advantage where possible. But it's, as Eddie Howe said, it's kind of difficult to bottle the energy that we had in the previous home fixture. He even stated, do we celebrate tackles? It's a difficult one. You've just got to try and somehow recapture that atmosphere, the energy. It's the build up to PSG was incredible. We need the same. Anybody watching this show tonight, if you're there tomorrow, you know the drill, guys. Energy, 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 energy. You are the 12th man. Whoever was in that stadium last time, you're all well aware that you were incredible. You helped the team get that result. The players have stated it. It's down to the fans as well. So whoever's in there tomorrow as well, we're not there. Paul potentially is as well. So, scream your lungs out. Help the players as much as you can.
Complacency is the energy, isn't it? Complacency is the enemy. Absolutely is. And even amongst the fans, like Alex says, you've got to get that atmosphere white hot like it was against PSG.
Absolutely.
I know, the novelty of the first games for years isn't there now, but just don't be used to winning 4-1 every time we play home. We're gonna need the fans tomorrow. Absolutely, we are.
Yeah. Another new member. Wow. David R. Welcome to Members Club, David. Thank you for your support and welcome to the family. And we got a $10 super chat from Graham Ritchie. Thank you, Graham. Looking forward to tomorrow. Whilst I am a bit apprehensive, I believe we will win. Great show, lads, and greeting from the Cayman Islands. We have another follower in the Cayman Islands, don't we?
James.
James, yeah. Wow. Simon says, I think tomorrow's will be a tough test. German teams usually set up well and are difficult to break down. Speaking of German teams, Bayern Munich have won 2-1 up at Galatasaray with Harold Kane scoring. Harry Kane. Mighty Mag says, hit the thumbs up, everybody. Yes, please. That would be a very, very nice thing to do. If you can just...
Did you get the super sticker, Paul? Did you get the super sticker that say as well?
The 199?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did, mate. Yeah. I did read that out. Clearly you weren't listening, Billy Trey. Anyway, on Alexander Isak, he says, I'm really pleased with where he's at. The West Ham game, his last start for us, I thought he was outstanding. Then he picked up a slight groin problem, but I think he's back to full fitness. He's trained really well in the build-up to this game. It looks like he's going to start, Billy, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Wilson played Saturday. It's kind of the drill, play one, rest the next, isn't it, with the strikers? And Isak, when he came on, I know he was only on for like 20 minutes, but some of the touches he showed in that 20 minutes were phenomenal. The assist through, should have been an assist to Miggy, was great. And his close control, beating players. Yeah, he looked like he was on it Saturday, and let's hope he's on it tomorrow, because I think that's the key part of the game. If he is on it, I think we win the game.
Alex?
Sorry, I was playing with graphics. Where are we at?
You were watching the Champions League game, Alex. You were sat back.
I haven't got it on. I promise you.
No, just about Isak, saying that Eddie said he's trained really well and he was outstanding against West Ham. And,
yes.
And then he picked up a groin strain, but he's back to full fitness.
I mean, that doesn't make sense at all. But considering he said he didn't train, and then all of a sudden he's trained a little bit and he's full fitness, like obviously he trained.
He says he's trained really well in the build up to this game. So
I don't know how you sort of do a couple of training sessions and then you're ready to go. But I mean, that's what Eddie does. He keeps cards close to his chest, and it's fine. Yeah, exactly, we all knew Isak was going to start this game. That's how it's been. It's been obviously Wilson in the Premier League and then Isak in the Champions League. To a point. And it's about that partnership. They understand that it's going to be sort of 60-90 for one or the other, and they'll rotate. Sometimes they'll have to do, I think Isak obviously had to play the whole game once because Wilson wasn't fit.
Yeah.
But, they know that they'll rotate and support each other, and they generally, they can empty the tank on 60-65 minutes because they know the other one can come on and help. So it helps massively with the way we play.
Yeah. Another new member, Nigel Mahoney. Welcome to Members Club. Thank you very much for signing up, Nigel, and welcome to the Toon Review family, and thank you for your continued support. We got a £3 super chat in from Darren Cox. Darren says, if we play our game, Borussia Dortmund will struggle to beat us. I agree with that. And yes, massive condolences to Bill Kenwright's family and friends tonight. I always took Bill Kenwright as a really decent man. I know the Everton fans were trying to hound him out, over the last couple of years, but to be honest, I think he's done a hell of a lot for Everton Football Club. Stabilised them in bad times, but he's also shared some decent good times with them as well. A real, football man. Again, taken from us. I think he was 78, passed away peacefully. But thoughts and prayers go out to everyone associated with Bill and Everton Football Club, I guess. Yeah.
Ex-Coronation Street as well.
Was he?
Mm.
He
was indeed. He used to play the part of the agent of Rita when she was a singer. So someone told me. I've never seen it.
Billy, I think you just dug yourself a huge hole there.
Way back in the 70s when I was forced to watch things like that.
Or forced to watch it, yeah. Okay, yeah. We know that, yeah. Tom Lynch says, isn't the Cayman Islands courier another of Alex's trusted sources? He's got them all over the world, man. He's got them all over the world. Stiff says, how's playing mind games again? Yeah, I think so. Big Ass Bloke says, Longstaff saying Willock looks like he's never left in training. Can't wait to get Willock back. Love him. Yeah, but you've got to remember training is very difficult. Different, to being on, the actual match fitness is where he's got to.
I liked Longstaff's interview. It was good.
Yeah,
I thought Eddie Howe's interview was poor in terms of the journalistic questions. Although Keith Downey's were good. Keith Downey's questions were good, but the Longstaff interview was much better. There were questions about his sort of improvement, about the runs he makes, about a lot of different aspects. Much better. I maybe player interviews. Maybe they need to try and move that into how they talk about management to the managers even because it was much better.
Rani Granny saying Dortmund have some class players in Brandt, Hummels, Emre Can. I mean, Hummels is 45 years old now. Emre Can, decent player, but you got to remember PSG beat these guys as well. So I mean, it'd be interesting.
That's not how that works, Paul.
Well, I know that, but I'm just making.
We thumped Villa, and then Villa beat Brighton. It doesn't always work like that.
Alex, I am not a stupid man, right? I'm just,
Don't say stupid things then.
Oh,
you two at it again.
Oh.
Go on, Muttley.
Anyway, Eddie Howe then went on to say about meeting Kevin Keegan last night, which was a bit surreal when I saw the photos because you've got an absolute club legend with a potential club legend. And interesting to say that Eddie went on to say about it. He says, I really enjoyed it. The chance to meet him personally and speak to him was a brilliant thing. I could sense his emotion towards Newcastle and the emotion coming back from him, from the people in the room. I'd love to get him back here in some way so the supporters can show their appreciation too. What do you make of that, Billy?
100%. It's something we've craved for, really, since he was kind of dismissed without being dismissed, if you know what I mean. Went to court and proved it. I just want to question Kevin's dress sense. So that suit would have been fantastic in 1985.
Well, yeah, I mean, the picture I'm looking at there is a blue suit, right? However,
but you're going to say something about urine stains on his right leg?
About
Definitely
what,
two splashes of unshook urine, shall we say?
It could be beer, Billy, to be fair.
I don't think he was drinking beer, was he?
Well, it could be a drink. It could be water.
Well, one's by his crotch and one's a bit further down. So it's one of them.
Billy, that quite disturbs me that you've actually, took that out of the photo.
Somebody pointed it out to me.
Of course they did. However, I saw him earlier on in the night and he seemed to be wearing a black suit. I don't know whether it was the lighting, but did he have a change of suit?
Well, if he pissed it down, maybe he did.
Billy! I don't think he did. But Alex, I mean, getting Keegan back, I mean, I don't know whether he's talking about getting him back in some sort of capacity at the club or whether it's just a guest appearance to, come on the pitch at half-time or whatever it may be. What do you reckon?
100%. 100% necessary. We've had certain ex-players or not necessarily players, but anybody who used to be involved with the club in any capacity has been so important. Shay Given's been great in the last sort of 6 months. He's been a lot more involved in punditry, and it's kept a lot of moronic opinions away because he sort of states facts and then they can't really rebuttal it because he's been at the club himself. Some of what he's done has been great. There's been a lot of other pundits as well. Bringing back somebody like Kevin Keegan would be great for obviously the fans. I don't know what capacity he means bringing them back in. Obviously, reference the fans. And for people having to go at me who can't remember Eddie Howe word for word, I'm paraphrasing. All right, I listened to it an hour ago on the way home from work. Some people have jobs as well. Yeah, I think it would be integral. It'd be great, whether it's advice, technical advice, footballing advice, stories, inspiration, just anything in an ambassadorial capacity would just be phenomenal.
Have you got a problem with your
ambassadorial?
Yes, ambassadorial.
My name is Spanish.
Ambassador. Yeah.
My name is Quith Eubank. I box for money. Yeah, yes, okay. Clone Lad says we're going to miss Sean Longstaff when he goes travelling in November. Yeah, people who took
his
that
comments were quite damning as well. To be fair, he said it. He wasn't super keen on the fact that people believed a lot of it.
I mean,
no, don't blame him.
Big YouTubers did stories on it and commented on it. It was ridiculous. I mean, Christ, as if he's going to... Jesus, unbelievable. Steph Gator says, would be cool to see Keegan on the pitch or do a lap of honour with Eddie and the lads with Keegan at the front at the end of the season. Club ambassadorial role for KK, says Darren. Shieldsy once is fascinating listening to Gary O'Neill talking about his team tactics on Monday Night Football. Eddie will be keeping an eye, I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that.
Yeah, a lot of people have said, "Oh, he's giving too much away. He's doing it."
Well, I mean, I thought that was naive as hell. As if the Bournemouth manager didn't account for that being a thing and try to tactically change as soon as it happened the first time. Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Of course not. The Bournemouth have got a whole set of coaching staff that are going to go, that's what they're doing. Let's change this now. It's about player execution. They're not stupid. They're professional managers, coaches. It's a load of nonsense. It looked really good for the cameras to have a presentation about what they were working on in training, but overall, that was nonsense.
Okay. Nick Rowley, thank you for your $1.99 super chat. He says, Que pasa, machos? A win tomorrow in honor of my birthday. Well, happy birthday for tomorrow, Nick. And yeah, hopefully they will bring 3 points home. Simon Muller, thank you for your 99.99 ZAR, which I believe is South African Rand. There you go. He says, heard today that this is our best ever start to a Premier League season. Unbelievable. Isak to score 2 tomorrow night as we beat Dortmund. How are the lads?
Interesting.
Yeah. Irish Tune says, I thought the suit was not that bad. Probably Hugo Boss.
Hugo Boss did his on the German army uniform in World War II, so not so good, really, is he? He did. Hugo Boss was design of the German army uniforms.
Thank you very much for that, Billy. I really needed to know that tonight. I mean, incredible. Your wisdom has no boundary, mate. It just doesn't.
Days at work don't fly by, I tell you. So that's not wasted.
Yes, clearly. Iropus as a mascot. Get KK running along the touchline wearing a big KK heed. I think he's a bit old for that now. What is he, 72 now, Kevin?
952. Yeah, something like that region.
Stiff Gator says, Shea Gibbon is our TV representative alongside Shearer. Good they are representing. Irish Tune says, Shea is a legend. Well, he did come on the show. He did come on our fan forum a few weeks ago. In disguise, of course, but a lot of people think it was definitely him.
I've got the football on now, and a Galatasaray player, by the way, has headbutted Delict, and Delict has walked away fine. It's quite funny. Robot head, apparently.
There's a player playing for Copenhagen tonight whose name is spelt, and I quote, Diks. Should be well at home at Old Trafford, shouldn't he?
Well, yes, indeed. Papa Mag says, I got a signed autograph of KK in his Hamburg kit when he signed for us. Legend ever since. I got a photo with him at Stanley Civic Hall when he played for Newcastle, and I was just a kid, and he had extremely curly hair. I do remember that, thinking, wow, that is curly. Dan Brown says, sounds like Eddie wants him to do a walk on at half time to get the crowd going. Well, I hope the crowd are going before half time, to be honest, Dan, but What the hell is Abdul on about? I'm not even going to read that out. Steve Gator says, Shea Given never got a testimonial. We need to rectify that in the near future. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I still can't believe that he hasn't been given a testimonial. That really needs sorting out much sooner than later. Tom says there was someone who did a character called Ali McCoist on Incontinent Scottish football. He pointed to a dark crotch and said it's just a wee stain. Oh dear God.
Ali McMoist, not Ali McCoist.
Ali McMoist, yes. Right, let's have a look at the graphics for tonight, shall we? This is this their last game, how they're lined up, Alex?
No, this is the predicted lineup.
This is the predicted lineup. Okay, there you go.
So, slight change from what we did on the Patreon preview yesterday, as the FOTMob prediction is that Ben Sebaini, I'm guessing that's how we're saying it, the left back, is going to play instead of Ryerson. That's the only thing that they think is going to change. They've got Nemecha and Chan on different sides. Other than that, it's pretty much the same sort of stuff. We're looking at Schlotterbeck and Hummels as the two very experienced centre-half partnership.
Was Schlotterbeck was he not linked with us a couple of years ago, Alex? I'm sure we talked about him.
So when it looked like Botman might be going to Milan instead, we did there were some links with other young left-footed centre-halves, and Schlotterbeck being the apparent second choice. And obviously he's now at Dortmund. He's a cracking player. So Sean Longstaff let something slip in the press conference today. I don't know if anybody is aware of that. He referenced that they've been working on sort of making sure they're. I can't again. Don't kill me. Paraphrasing, can't remember the exact words, but it was something about the both of the centre halves are very, very good on the ball. We've got to make sure we're at them. So he referenced that specifically, which he probably wasn't meant to go into that much detail, but he did. So it's obviously something they've worked on. And to prove a point, obviously you made a bit of a joke about Hummels' age, but we have Mats Hummels here on FB Ref, who is still putting up rather good numbers for a centre half. Is pretty outrageous. Ball progression is yeah, exactly. Dear God. And then we've got
how old is he now, Alex? I'm sure he must be about 37, is he?
Hummels is 34, nearly 35.
He's older than that, to be honest.
But yeah, so ball progression, passes, defensive stuff, everything is just bonkers high. And you've got Schlotterbeck, his left-footed partner here, who's putting up equal amounts, progressive carries, passes, is through the roof, elite stuff. Their centre halves are magnificent. So we've got to be really, really careful about those two. If we go to, we've got Dortmund here. If we go to the team stats for Dortmund, you can see that they are accurate long balls per match. They are top in the Bundesliga for accurate long balls per match, which I think ties into just how good their centre halves are as well. So something to watch out for.
Share yet, man.
Well, exactly. So, but it really is the battle of titans for competent centre halves at this point. Lascelles is going to have to step up. So Chan and Nemecha, physical. Double pivot there. Nemecha obviously being somebody we were linked with. We've done in a transfer show before. He'll be trying to break up play a little bit and reasonable ball carrier as well. Marco Reus, 34 years old, not quite what he was, however, still an excellent, very high technical level footballer. We need to be careful of him as well in that 10 role. But everything at the moment is coming through Brandt. 7 goals and assists total this year in the Bundesliga. He's the guy that everything is coming through. He's the reason they beat Werder Bremen 1-0 on Friday night. If we can keep him quiet, that goes a long way to making sure we can win this game. Because he is the guy. Apart from the centre halves and Brandt is just the guy at the moment. He's so good. In terms of Marlon on the other side, fast guy, a little bit different. And then you've got Fulkrug, who is an absolute battering ram of a centre forward. So if we type in Fulkrug, there he is, Niklas Fulkrug. So here he is this season, 30-year-old with an interesting picture, bless him, 6'2". We scroll down. So aerial duels are through the roof. So he is...
he's not come up against Fabian Schär, man.
No, I know. So he is a bit more of a battering ram. You can see what he's about based on his data. Passive, progressive passes are really interesting as well. So maybe passing it to people sort of, holding it up in the center and then playing people through.
How tall is he, Alex?
Passes. 6'2". So it's going to be interesting to see who he decides to go for, whether it's Schär or Lascelles. This will be an interesting one. Whether I don't know if he goes out wide too much again. I've not watched too much Dortmund, so it'll be interesting to see how they use him. Alternatively,
who was that battering ram for Bayern Munich years ago, Billy? Do you remember him?
Carsten
Gomez.
Janker.
Carsten Janker, that's him. Yeah.
Closer. Oh, you guys are going well further back than what I was thinking.
Massive.
Archetypal German centre forwards.
Yeah.
Oh, bloody hell.
Rudy Voller's another one. Same.
Yeah.
But you've got Haller as well, who could come in. You've got Adeyemi, who I'm a little bit confused as to why. I've not really had enough time to watch too much of the Dortmund preview YouTubers, because they've only, they'll be releasing their sort of stuff at the same time we're doing this. So a little bit too late to be able to go and watch that. But I don't. Why is he not playing? I know he generally plays sort of left side, so maybe it's to accommodate Julian Brandt and the shape they're playing. But this guy is terrifying. Very, very good. He's come from I think he was from Salzburg originally. So crazy.
Has he been injured, Alex? Has he been injured? Maybe.
It's possible. I know Yusuf Makoko, the young striker's out. You got Ryerson. I can't remember who the 14 is. I've put him on for a reason. He should be possibly available as well. And yeah, so this is the predicted lineup for them.
Daniel Marlin is a speed demon. He is fast.
He is.
But
I want this one.
I think he's not as. I don't think he's as good as he was. I know he's still young, but Daniel Marlin, I used to sign him on FIFA all the time because he was like a whippet.
I mean, we can confirm that.
But I don't know. I don't know how he's done since he went to Dortmund. Yeah.
3 goals this year. Dutch, 24 years old, right-footed. He is still putting up good progressive carry numbers, take-on numbers, very, very high volume of shots. He looks fine. There's no issues there. This is what SofaScore thinks it's going to be. I don't think they're too wrong. So there seems to be a bit of a contradiction in who's going to start at left back among different websites. So we'll have to wait and see. But they're all, most of them are all saying it's going to be this roughly. A few shouts for the American. None of the sites are predicting the American to start, so we won't even
from America.
From America.
Yeah. Well, I don't think Callum will be starting for us either. I think they've got that wrong. That's probably
I agree. I think that's meant to be. Yeah, I think it'll be Isak. I think this is mostly correct with possibly Isak being the only change you would imagine, and Sean and Joe Linton. And this is a mistake I did on the podcast last night. Of obviously, I don't know why they've got Sean and Joe Linton that way round. It's as if they don't watch our games. So, I mean, they aren't any joke. I think it's probably relevant to go back to the data. I know they've not been amazing at the start of this season, but if you look at the ratings in the Bundesliga, they're top 4 or 5 in every important metric. They're used to seeing a lot of the ball, over 60% possession in their league, only behind Bayern.
See, that for me is going to be an important aspect of the game tomorrow, guys, is possession, because obviously we let PSG have a lot of possession, in the what I call the non-danger areas. They were just knocking it around in the middle or behind, and we sort of collapsed in on them when they came into the final third. Do we play like that against Dortmund tomorrow, do you think, Billy? Or do you think we will have a bit more of the ball?
No, I think it'll be similar, if I'm perfectly honest. I think it'll be the same sort of thing. I think we'll press. I think it'll be stop the centre-backs from playing these long balls that they're good at by pressurising them. Obviously, Hummels is 34, wasn't quick in his prime, so he's certainly not going to be any slower now, but he certainly won't be any faster, certainly. So I think we'll be pressurising Hummels. I think we'll be pressurising Schlotterbeck. Stop that kind of route for him to get the long balls out. And yeah, I think it'll be similar. I really do.
Well, I think, Hummels, if we do, press and keep up that press throughout the game, I think Hummels will tight. He's got to. He's not a spring chicken anymore.
They do have Süle, who is available technically as well. Obviously, the free transfer from Bayern. So Süle is no joke. He's a top player. Not the fastest. No, but to be fair, nor is Hummels. So there's some aged players in this team. Brandt's, I guess, peak age at the moment. Not quite as nippy as he was a couple of years ago as a youngster, but he's still, I'd say Brandt's probably at the top of his game. A lot of others here. Royce is obviously a lot older, but they've got a nice blend. This is I know they've lost
good experience,
this is a good team.
Yeah.
It's not predicted in this game, but they recruited well. They got Nemecha, they got Sabitzer in. They've got Füllkrug in with Haller as 2 centre forwards. They've brought in some additional depth, so they're a nice balanced team with a blend of age, experience, young, exciting players with Adeyemi, with Yusufa Makoko to come through as well. So a good team, and I think they're going to be a lot harder than the PSG game. We've definitely got to respect them. But it is winnable. It really is winnable. I think again, it's another one where we need the energy. We really do need the energy to work for us.
Yeah,
But they don't play with as much width as PSG either. I mean, Dembele and Mbappe hugging the touchlines with overlapping fullbacks. The fullbacks will get forward, but Mala doesn't drift as much wide and Brandt doesn't drift as much wide. Expect Brandt to come central because that's how he scored his goal Friday. Really nice finish, by the way. He's an excellent footballer, Julian Brandt.
Well, in addition to that, that is 100% true with Brandt. But in terms of them defending, I don't think they can play this shape. I would. I mean, again, I'm okay with this kind of thing, but there's going to be people who know a lot more than me about this. But in terms of that shape, I don't think they're going to look anything like this when we're in possession at all. It's going to be a lot of space centrally. I feel like, especially when we're playing inverted wingers. Could you put that back up for 1 second? Because I just want to prove a point about it's this space in here. This space is going to be so exploitable. If we've got inverted wingers, Anthony Gordon can drive centrally into this space. Miguel Almiron can drive centrally. Isak can drive centrally. Sean Longstaff loves to go on this little run through here in this little underlap, whether it's behind Schlotterbeck or through the middle. So I don't think they're going to be able to be in this shape. I think this is just a formation on paper. Of course, typically when you put a formation down, it's how you will look in possession in a certain phase. It's not going to be how you look most of the game anyway. But I would suggest that one of these pivots is going to sit. It's not going to look like this. Otherwise, I feel like we're going to have a lot of luck centrally. Again, I feel like it's another one of those games where Almiron cutting in, because Schlotterbeck's left-footed. So if Miggy can get an extra yard of space past Schlotterbeck centrally, there's a Miggy shot on, 100%. There's a left-footed Miggy shot top bins. That's on the cards, depending on how they set up. It's a really interesting game. It's definitely winnable.
Ron Peacock, thank you very much for gifting 5 Toon Review memberships. Very, very kind, my friend. Thank you so much for your kindness. The 5 that were given the memberships are Arani Granny, Malcolm Shield, Lars Lonskerg, Tenacious G, and Jackie Nicholson. And then the wonderful Mary has also gifted 5 memberships as well. So thank you very much for that, Mary. And the 5 that have got the 1 month memberships is Milo, Yano, Irish Toon, John Koskin, and Andrew Bolam. So all have a free membership for a month. And then, of course, it is up to you guys if you want to continue that after your free month. But thank you so much, Mary. Incredibly kind, both you and Ron there. Thank you so much for that. A lot of questions in the chat about Jacob Murphy. Saying that, Billy, should he, after his brilliant performance on Saturday, should he not be in the team because he played brilliantly? But it's a very different game, this, and I think all of the team now should know that there is going to be rotation.
Exactly that. Murphy will be less fresh than Miggy, and Miggy's also been fantastic in Champions League this season.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that Miggy comes straight back in on that right-hand side position. Murphy probably play against Wolves on Saturday.
Alex, I mean, Murphy was outstanding, but again, very, very different game of football, this, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Foxy makes a great point there, and that ties into obviously whether it's Miggy or Murphy. Even if it is Miggy, Kieran Trippier is still going to provide the width with the overlaps. It's a tough one, but I would say Miggy's probably more appropriate for this game, especially being as we've committed to having played Murphy at the weekend. I feel like energy levels wise, especially, they're both on fire. Miggy's playing great as well. Even earlier on in the season, you could argue, even the games that we didn't win, he was still pinging it off the crossbar, and he wasn't playing badly. It's just people. If there's ever a game we don't win, people go, "Oh, Miggy can't cross with his right foot," and it's just a ridiculous observation because it's just not how we use him. If we want a game like that, we'll play Murphy, and we'll let Murphy do exactly what he did the other day against Palace. So I think that'll be very important. And Foxy makes a great point. Rotational left back, Wolves on the right side. Obviously, Schlotterbeck being left-footed, he's good at providing wide cover, but then that leaves space centrally. We've got very good technical players. We're good at the cutbacks. Longstaff's good at joining that a little attack. Yeah, I'm excited. I think we can. I think the weaknesses are there to exploit.
Yeah, I agree.
It's very winnable.
And
I'm very much looking forward to it. Go on, Billy.
Brandt, Royce, and Marlon, will they track back as much as what? And will they be as defensively solid as what they would be with the three of them? I don't think they will.
I think Marlon might, Billy, but you're right about Royce, because Royce just doesn't have the legs to do that anymore. And this is what I mean about our high tempo. If we play at a high tempo, there is players in that Dortmund team who will undoubtedly not be able to cope with it, because they're not used to that kind of press in Germany. There's not many teams who will do that to Dortmund in Germany. But it's very, very difficult as PSG.
I mean, they've got more energy than maybe we're giving them credit for, but
you can see
Lemaitre and Chan are very good in midfield, very energetic.
But you can see what I mean, Alex. Those experienced players will get leggy because they don't play like that in the Bundesliga. I watch a lot of it.
I don't want to give away a prediction, but I can't see Dortmund being able to score any more than one. I just can't. I think they can. I think, again, long balls is something that we've struggled with a little bit when they were good long balls. We got opened up by sort of Liverpool, Brighton with just flat straight balls centrally. We had quite an issue with it in pre-season as well, where sometimes our midfield would just get completely bypassed. We'd be in the wrong shape for 3 seconds. Boom, they've completely cut us apart. Villa did it to us in the game we won 5-1, to be fair. Maybe that's what Alex Ferguson was talking about in that interview that he got mocked for. There were occasions where long balls were just going straight through us. So we've got to make sure. But that being said, I don't think they're going to be able to score more than a goal if they're lucky. So as long as we can score more than one goal, I know it's easier said than done, but we can win this game.
Absolutely. Darren Cox, thank you for your £2 super chat. He says, thumbs up to the stream, guys. Great show as usual. TTR. Peter says he's concerned about how we're going to cope with such a congested fixture list. From this Dortmund game, we're roughly playing every 3 days until November the 11th against Bournemouth, of course, when the next international break is. I think the players, to be honest, would rather play than train. I really do. If you're in a good vein of form, you want to get out on that pitch, you want to win games. I just think that the whole thing about playing all these games is if your morale is up, your confidence is up, you would rather play games than train. And I think that's where our players are at the moment mentally. I think they love getting on that pitch, they love performing, and they'd far rather do that. One thing that does worry me, though, Billy, is Marlon and Brandt at the back posts. And you'll know what I mean by that is so many times Trippier or Burn gets sucked in, not through their fault, but just sometimes we leave a man at the back post. And these are people who do not miss these sort of chances.
Yeah, I don't think it's as important when it's coming from a 3, though, from behind the striker, because there's only one centre forward to mark, and that leaves one of the centre halves free. As long as the communication's right, I think they'll be okay, if I'm honest.
Yeah. Alex, what were you going to say before that, mate?
Just when you were mentioning depth, I think people have got to sort of recognise that the depth we've used so far this season has got us the points tally and all of the victories we've had. We've looked good in the Champions League. We beat Man City in the Carabao Cup. We're looking healthy in the Premier League. And this is using the depth that we've got. I mean, obviously with this Toon Army ban coming up, we've got... So there's only a few positions that you'd question the rotation. With Bruno is one. The keeper, not really an issue. But if you look at the rest of the pitch generally, it's fine because you've got Murphy and Almiron. You've got Wilson and Isak can swap. Left side, you've got Gordon. Joe Linton can play left wing. You've got Willock coming back into the side because obviously Barnes is injured. And then you've got Longstaff, Elliot Anderson, Joe Linton, Willock, potentially Miley. You've got lots of other players can play midfield. Centre halves when Botman comes back. Livramento stepped in. Left backs, we've got lots of left backs. I don't think it's too much of an issue. I think the
just
one
6, isn't it?
The asterisk is Bruno. If Bruno gets an anterior cruciate ligament snap,
of course, I won't say it. Don't even think it. I don't say it.
That's the only position where we haven't got the necessary cover.
Damn you, Stato! Damn you for even saying that.
I'm dreading a game suspension, let alone what you just said.
Yeah. Clone Lad says J7 was off the pace at the weekend and lacking sharpness. Hopefully has dusted off the cobwebs after his layoff. That's all it was, mate. Clearly he was slightly off the pace. And yeah, he wasn't brilliantly sharp, but he got that amount of minutes under his belt, and I think that's pretty much perfect. Baz Down Under says our press is very important. Teams cannot cope. Bradley says start Murphy and bring on Almiron to run at their tiring defense. I mean, is that an option, Alex?
I mean, either way around is.
Yeah,
Miggy's fresher, isn't he? Miggy's fresher. Simple as that.
It's about having that intensity from minute one, and Miggy's going to be fresher. Like, it's just how it is. So
Eddie Howe's looked at this fixture before he picked the side for the Crystal Palace game, and I think Almiron's been penciled in for this game.
I think his substitutes sort of gave us that anyway, didn't they? What are you laughing at, Alex?
I'm getting absolutely crucified in the chat for jinxing that. I do apologise.
Yeah,
yes, if Bruno gets injured tomorrow, I will apologise. I know. Shouldn't have said it.
Anne says, hi all, hope you're all well. So excited for tomorrow night. How are the lads? 3-0 to the Toon. Thanks to all the TTR at TTR. Great show as per. Looking forward to the watch along tomorrow night with you all. We start at 7:30. Kickoff is 8 p.m. So it's Champions League. It's half an hour build up. It has to be. Normally the Carabao Cup and that we do 15 minutes build up, but this is the biggie. Keith Truscott celebrating 13 months of membership. Thank you very much, Keith. He says, I'm a little concerned now that they're that good at the long ball, which could pull Pope off his line too much. We all know how he likes to come forward. Are you worried about Nick Pope, Billy?
No, not really. I think the long ball, it's different with Lascelles in the side because he gets up to these headers, doesn't he? He's kind of, he's not as quick, so he stays a little bit deeper. So, yeah, I'm not so concerned with the long balls when Jamal Lascelles is playing, which seems an odd thing to say, but that's the truth, in my opinion.
Yeah. Julie says, God, so sorry I'm late. Been just watching immense content coming out from NUFC, match cams and Sean Presser. Yeah, they are releasing some really good stuff at the moment, Newcastle, and it's great to see. We're not used to it. Well, we are now, but we weren't used to it. That's a certainty. Foxy says, Adeyemi will get the last half an hour. His minutes have dropped significantly since the PSG loss in September. Dortmund also changed formations since then.
Well, they played wing backs against PSG.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't see the PSG game. I didn't watch them against PSG. I did see the game on Friday. I went and watched that again, but I wasn't impressed, actually.
I mean, they went with a game plan specifically to beat them, and it just didn't work. They were played so far out of character and didn't work.
Yeah. Simon says Ramsdale or Pope. Well, Ramsdale's not getting any football at the minute, so you'd have to go Nick Pope. But then again, I've seen a brilliant tweet earlier on today. Somebody taking the mickey out of Southgate and says, what do you think of Sean Longstaff? And he said something along the likes of, I'd like to see a bit more of Sean Longstaff on the bench. He's playing too much football at the minute to get in the England squad. I thought it was brilliant. Totally taking the pee about him picking people who don't play. So it was brilliant. Stiff says, still do not understand the Arteta goalkeeping situation. Why find a solution to a problem that did not exist? He's got a bigger one now because Reyes is passing out his
Raya and Sanchez Saturday. Christ, the two of them weren't just Raya. I mean, Sanchez, Christ.
Yeah, but Raya was recruited for certain types of distributions, and it is what it is.
See, I like Aaron Ramsdale. I really do like Aaron Ramsdale. I think he's a very, very good goalkeeper, and I think he's been dealt an absolute shitter by Arteta. But I think Arteta's, he's a cock at times anyway. Right, let's do our potential Newcastle United lineups, shall we? Billy, you can go first tonight.
Okay, Pope in goal, Trippier, Lascelles, Cher, Byrne, Bruno, Longstaff, Joe Linton, Gordon, Isak, and Almiron.
So you think Miggy's going to get the start and Isak. Alex?
Yeah, Pope in goal, Trippier, Lascelles, Cher, and Dan Byrne. And then midfield of Bruno, Joe Linton, Sean Longstaff, left wing Gordon, Isak up front, and then Miggy right wing.
Fair enough. Before I give you mine, guys, we're on 344 likes at the moment with over nearly 900 watching. There is no giveaway tonight. I'm getting the prizes together, so I will be doing one.
Well, if you think you're going to beat, if you think we're going to beat Dortmund tomorrow, then
no. I was just going to say, if you hate Sunderland and Manchester United, if you hate them, hit the thumbs up button. If you don't hit the thumbs up button, it means you've got a little bit of Manc blood in you, and we're not having that. So if you hate Sunderland and hate Manchester United, hit that thumbs up button right now. Just take 2 seconds out and let's get these likes up, guys, because it is massive for the channel that we get the likes up so that we can be in all the search results on YouTube and we stay up with the algorithms, etc., etc. Michael Burge has been watching you lads for the last 6 to 8 weeks. You're just getting better and better. Best of a good bunch. Thank you very, very much, Michael. That means a lot, my friend. Really do appreciate that. Julie says something Sean said. Reckon Willock may get a start or off the bench. I don't think he meant tomorrow. I think it's come a little bit too soon, but it's great to see Joe Willock back in training. It really is. It's absolutely fantastic.
it's funny that they call him Willie as well.
Funny how I said that about the likes. We've jumped up over 110 likes since I said if you hate Man United and Sunderland. So, keep going, guys. Keep going. Thank you very much. Right, my side is Pope in goal, Trippier, right back, Dan Burn, left back, 2 centre-backs of Jamal Lascelles and Fabian Schär. Midfield has to be Bruno, Longstaff, and Joe Linton for me. I think Eddie wanted to play Joe Linton for a long period of time on Saturday for this very reason, that he got his match fitness up, his sharpness up, and away you go. Up front, Anthony Gordon, Alexander Isak, and Miggy. But then again, we give our team predictions every week, and every week Eddie Howe throws in a curveball. So he might even start Elliot Anderson over Joe Linton and put him on the bench. You know, he does these weird things from time to time. But we'll have to wait and see. Come 7 p.m. tomorrow night when the teams are released. Now, score predictions. Get your score predictions in the comments, guys. Let's see if you agree with us what the score's going to be. Keep those likes coming in. There must be some closet Man United and Sunderland fans in the chat, because I expect more than 449 likes with nearly 900 people watching. You cannot be closet Man United or Sunderland. Hit that thumbs up button, guys. Billy, score prediction.
Yeah, I'll see us winning. I'll see us. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be anything like the PSG game.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'll come with more energy and enthusiasm and professionalism. There won't be Mardy when they go goal down. You know, German sides aren't like that. But I'll still take us to win 2-0. I think Alexander Isak gets both goals.
Okay. There is a lot of very optimistic fans in the chat, let's say. I've seen 4-0s and 5-0s, but then I'm seeing some more realistic ones like 2-0 and 3-1 or 2-1, etc. Alex, where are you going on this one?
2-1. I think we will win 2-1. I think they will get a goal. But I think ultimately, with the form we're in at the moment, with the lineup we're going to play, I'd be frustrated if we didn't score even more than 2, to be fair. But I'm going conservative. I'm going to go with 2 goals, and I think we'll concede. So I'm going with the 2-1 victory. And I think it will be from... I think Miggy's going to get one, just based on that central space. I think it's just going to be available. Next one's a tricky one. I fancy Isak to get back on the score sheet. It's been a little while. He's scoring a lot,
West
but
Ham, it was West Ham.
It's been one game.
He was awesome. Yeah,
it's been one game.
They didn't play it.
He didn't play it. Yeah, he only came on for 20. Good point. Predator says, as soon as you said if you hate Sunderland, hit the like button. He says, I've hit it so hard I've cracked my phone screen. Jesus. Hope you're well, Preds. Wow, there's some crazy people in the chat going 8-0. I mean, you guys are very optimistic. Stiff says tomorrow be an incredible experience for all of us, whatever happens. Enjoy the hell out of it, Toon supporters. Indeed, and you've got to do that. Some people in the chat are asking about Tonali and said if his ban doesn't come through, do you think Eddie might start him?
Yes.
Oh,
he may. Yeah, he may. I think his ban will come through, though.
You think it'll come through tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if it does, as soon as it breaks, me and Billy will go live tomorrow, whatever time that is, I assume if he's going to be banned, they won't wait till almost kick-off time to do it. So, yeah, he's on for warm-up. Oh, Sandro, get yourself home, son. You're banned from the stadium. You're banned from the match.
10 minutes in, ban him. Newcastle United have been kicked out of the competition for playing it.
Yeah, absolutely crazy stuff. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
Just as the Man United game's about to start as well, I'm about to go to the gym, and I guarantee there'll be like 5 Man United shirts in that gym, and they're not even watching their own Champions League game.
Well, of course they won't.
Guarantee it. It's every time.
Yeah. Score prediction from me. I think we will win 3-1. I'm very, very confident. You know, I hope it's a clean sheet again. I do think, though, Dortmund have enough to get one. But listen, why shouldn't we be confident the way we're playing football at the moment? I just think we have a right to be confident. It's not being big-headed. It's not being cocky. It's just stating the facts. You know, we've beaten PSG 4-1. Why can't we beat Dortmund? It'll be a different game. It won't be the same sort of game at all. But St. James's will be rocking, and we have a massive opportunity here to be top of the league, 7 points at the turnaround. 3 more games, and we will be pushing for qualification, which I don't really think anybody thought we might. I mean, yeah, the second place was obviously, on the cards, but a lot of people were saying, finish third, get into the Europa League, and then have a run at that. So it may be completely different, of course. But that is it for tonight's match preview, guys. Don't forget to watch along tomorrow night, starting at 7:30. Full build-up with team news, followed by full commentary of the 90 minutes. It should be an incredible game of football, an incredible night. So everybody is really looking forward to it. Thank you to everybody that's become a member tonight. I mean, we've had about 15 new members on the show tonight, which is incredible, including obviously the gifted ones. Thank you for your super chats as well. Mod Squad, you've been awesome as usual. Thank you to Billy and Alex. But again, the major thanks goes to you guys out there. Thank you so much for joining us again tonight. And we hope you've enjoyed the show. Please do subscribe if you are new and you like what you've seen, and also the notification bell, which will let you know when we go live or we upload any future videos. Keep your eye open tomorrow, just in case anything breaks of Toon Army. We will bring you that straight away. I think we would bring you a live show for that, because obviously it's a big talking point. And the last live show we did at lunchtime, we got over 800 people watching, which was absolutely incredible. So thank you very much.
Could I just drop in a thank you to all the positive reactions to the Patreon that me and Billy did last night as well? I had a lot of messages. We had a few tweets. That was very kind of you all. So yeah, we're enjoying it, and we will definitely do some more because people seem to be loving it. So some very kind words today, and we do appreciate it.
And they will go tomorrow night.
Instant reaction tomorrow night. If you want to check the Patreon page out, guys, and be a patron of the Toon Review and help us that way, the link is in the description. So just scroll down and you will find the link for that as well. But thank you to everybody for the positive feedback, as Alex says. But that's it for tonight, guys. We will see you at 7:30 tomorrow for the watch along. Me and Billy will probably be on a live show at some point tomorrow, bringing you the news on Sandro Tonali. But until then, enjoy the rest of your evening, folks. Good night.
How are the lads and lasses?
Come back and check out some green.